Oh, hello, friends. It is time to begin our departure phase of Koriko. This is the second video of me recording my adventure through the Koriko solo journaling TTRPG, and I am very excited to continue my journey, really to start my journey, as I have not actually begun the departure phase. So to start, I am going to read out our lovely little poem from Matsuo Basho, The Narrow Road to the Deep North. It's a simple, short poem, and it says, "From this day forth, I shall be called a wanderer, leaving on a journey, thus among the early showers." So I am going to continue with reading this PDF aloud while doing my game. So an introduction. Set up through play. This first volume is a little different from the rest. We're going to set up the game while playing it, which sounds a little familiar to me. You'll create your witch, giving them life as you gently explore their home and the people who are important to them. Let's zoom out for a moment. The pivotal question at the end of the game is this: as your year draws to a close, will you stay in Koriko or will you return to your home village? As such, it's important to understand what their village is like and what it means to leave it behind. And there's a beautiful drawing of a witch holding a cat in their arms. Your story begins. When you're working through a volume like this one, you'll be playing as your witch and making choices from their perspective. When prompts refer to you, they mean your witch. Empty your hands, close your eyes, and take a moment to breathe, which I obviously can't do because I'm reading. Then open your eyes. You can now turn the page and start your story by creating your witch. A magical year of dreams and adventures awaits. Oh, and by the way, from the previous video, I have already set up my map and my skills pages. I got all of that squared away already. And I'm using a journal that is has a little binder, so if I need to add pages places, I can do it easily. It just makes my life easier. So, about me, as in my witch. You are a witch, a young person with burgeoning magical powers. You walk between two worlds. You're a teenager who needs to love and fight and cry and shout, but as part of the next generation of witches, you also carry the burden of an ancient dying tradition on your shoulders. We'll start with your bio, a few paragraphs to establish some key truths. Create a journal entry. Okay. Oop. I have a little jangly timepiece on this. So, before we begin, we must break the curse of perfection by making an intentional mistake. Mar your journal with a typo, ugly smudge, messy scribble, or other undesirable mark. Sure, I have a little scribble there now. With that done, introduce yourself to your journal however you would like. A simple hello, a rebellious cry, or whatever else you feel like writing. I am starting my journey to Koriko, and writing terribly, I might add. My handwriting is not good today. So let's see. Then use the following section, copying it exactly or editing it to fit your style, replacing the words in brackets with a choice from the next page. When you have done this, carry on your journal entry with my story. So your bio. Oh, this is lovely. Oh no, I have to come up with a name. Let's see. My name is... I always come up with Tamara Pierce names when I have to do this kind of thing. Oh, random name generator, save me. You know what? I'm gonna go with my name from my character I played at D&D in a church. My name is Ramara. I like that name. Let's see. Let's see, I am a 16-year-old witch in training, and when you first see me, you'll probably notice my something. Let's see. I have to actually write that down now. And when you first see me, you'll probably notice mine. It has 3 things. Crystal blue eyes. Because the first thing that people notice is visual cues, obviously. So, crystal blue eyes, bushy mouse brown hair, and nervous smile. I'm gonna be myself here. Cozy sweaters. And simple dresses. And carry a book with me pretty much everywhere. Let's see. Oh, you'll probably also notice my familiar. I have a familiar. You know what? I'm gonna make Dahlia my familiar. I'm gonna be a little different. So I have a pug. She's 14 years old and her name is Rocket, but she's a little, older. She's 14, and this is me personally. But Dahlia is a younger Boston Terrier. She's full of energy. I feel like she'd be a perfect familiar. Dahlia. She's the spry Boston Terrier who never leaves my side. Let's see. Our bond is so strong that we can even talk to each other, though you probably won't understand us. Can you imagine being able to talk to your dog or cat? Let's see. Most folks from my village would say that I'm blank, I think. Flighty. I like that word, flighty. The people close to me make it clear that I should always be blank. Should always be more sure of myself. As for me, I think I'm blank, and I'd really like to be more blank. As for me, I think I'm too sensitive. And I'd really like to be more... I'm at the end of the page, hang on. Oop, sorry. Be more studious. I like that. And knowledgeable. This is my journal. I can add extra traits if I want to. Okay. And then there's a little quote from Kiki's delivery service. Kiki, don't get too hung up on appearances. It's your heart that's important. Oh, interesting. So on the next page, I didn't see this. On the next page, they give options. So like your name can be like a broadleaf tree, a flowering annual, precious stone, things like that. Your look can be a piercing stare, careworn eyes, a restless gaze, perfect nails, things like that. Style, they give things like a bright yellow dress, hand-me-down shirt, very pointy shoes, and so on. Things that you carry, they have the dad's old 35mm camera, brass tin of boiled sweets, a cameo locket in coral and gold, and so on and so forth. Adjectives: friendly, bright-eyed, fearless, skittish, all different kinds of animals. And the traits are things like friendly, helpful, charming, tenacious, pragmatic, cute, excitable, entertaining, and so on. Okay, so now I'm on to my story. So this is your story. A few paragraphs to set up your impending adventure. One moment. There we go. Continue the entry you began. You have begun with your bio. Same as before, use the following section, copying it exactly or editing it to fit your style. Replacing the words in brackets with a choice from the next page. Oh, well, I didn't see that part the first time. Sign off your entry however you'd like, a simple goodbye, a pensive thought, or whatever else you feel like writing. Then move on to farewell. So, okay, I'm going to use this reference now that I know that there's a reference page. So I'm writing this from, let's see. Ooh, I love these names. Oh, I have to go with something semi-French. Croft Le Marche. So I'm writing this from Croft Le Marche, the quiet little village I've lived in all my life. Let's see. I live here with the village witch, so I have to give a name. And the name suggestions they give are things like an evergreen tree, wild beast, bird of prey, and so on. I'm going to choose Grotwin. I like that. Let's see. I live here with Grotwin. Who are they? I feel like they're... Oop. Hello, microphone. microphone. Are you falling? Fully falling. Okay, I'm going to pause because my microphone just came off my desk. So hold please. Nope, transition. Sorry about that. Fully dropped my microphone, but let's get back into this. So I forget where I was, but let's see. Okay, so I live here with Grotwin. They're the village witch and a bit of a mystery. People in the village say that they're, let's see, old-fashioned, I would say. I like that. Let's see, but where was I? But they can actually be riotous. I like that word, riotous, when it's just us. So maybe they're a bit of a trickster, a joker or something. Okay. Gotta scroll back up. Let's see. And I'll write this part later, because it's long. Since I decided to become a witch, they've acted as my mentor, teaching me the basics of the old ways. We've learned a lot together, but now it's time for me to put it into practice on my own, far from their guiding hand. Me and Dahlia will be leaving on the next full moon, just 2 days from now, to spend a year away. I need 2 drives. I hope to... hone my magic into something truly special. But also want to chill out and enjoy being a teenager. There we go. When I dream about my new home, I wake up with lingering memories. Ooh. Ooh, I like this. So it's like little premonitions. So I wake up with lingering memories of costumed musicians on every corner. And a spire of silver and glass piercing the sky. I love that. My apologies if you hear snoring on the recording now. Rocket joined me in the office. Okay, so now we're at farewell. So farewell, you have 2 days before you leave home. To begin the first day, roll 2 dice. It would be useful if I had brought anything over here. Hold, please. Okay, so roll 2 dice. And I grabbed my tarot deck while I was at it. I rolled 2 3s. Okay. Create a new journal entry using your answers to these 2 prompts. I'm going to say I'm going to re-roll since I got 2 3s. Okay, I got a 1 and a 3. So, farewell. And I'm going to keep it on the same page because I'm just barely on to the next one. So, farewell, reflections. So, the first question is, what will you miss most about home? I would say the cottage is on the outskirts of the village, and there's this brook that is just covered all over in moss. And there's this tree that's perfectly worn away at the base where Ramara just sits and meditates and thinks and listens to the sound of the water trickling by. She'll read a book or write in her journal, as she clearly is wont to do, and just relax. It's a very calming place. I'm not writing all of that down, but you know. Okay, and also, what are you glad to leave behind? I know my first thought is bullies, because that was a common refrain for me, personally. Bullies and judgment. Maybe some people in the village don't really understand magic and they're not amenable to people who do magic. And maybe she just doesn't feel like she belongs fully. Okay, and then 3 is who in the village has always believed in your potential? Ooh. This ties in really well. And that would be my mentor, Grotlin. Always has believed in my potential, always thought that I needed to get out of this small village and expand my horizons. Whose reservations will you be glad to escape? Let's see, I like the options here. They give, so they always give options for things that you can write down if you can't think of something yourself. So for this one, they say, my mentor, my mother, the spirits, my brother. The spirits is an interesting one. I would say just simply, and maybe this feels a little bit like pulling from Beauty and the Beast, but like the town gossips. They're entirely too judgmental. Okay, so this is a very simple journal entry in comparison to the other thing. So then roll again for the second day following the same process. Interesting. Day 1. Reflections. Day 2. So let's roll these dice again. 2 different numbers, 2 and 5. Okay. So 2 is, how do you wish you were more like your mentor? Oh, that's an interesting one. I would say they're very self-sufficient. Grotwin never needs or seemingly never needs help from anybody. Whether that's truly the case, you never know, and is highly doubtful, but... Let's see. Oop. I'm doing the thing where I put letters out of order when I write because I'm writing too fast for my brain and hand to match. Let's see, and the other question for 2 is, how are you glad to be different? Ooh, I like that. So going back to the idea that the villagers think that they're old-fashioned, is that maybe Ramar's a little bit more adaptable. To change. Cool. And then the 5 is, what stress dream do you keep having about leaving home? Oh goodness. So... not being able to find my place. Or people unwilling to see magic for what it is. Okay, let's see. And then the other question is, what anxiety about the journey still troubles you when you wake? I'm looking at the example. Honestly, yeah, learning nothing. I like that one. Learning nothing and wasting my year. Okay, so those are the things. So I've rolled for the second day. When I've finished both entries, flip to the page, take flight. Oh, I made a mistake. There's a reflection and an encounter. Okay, well, I've answered a whole bunch of questions, but let's see what the encounters are. So it would have been a 3 and a 5 for encounters. I'm fine with answering more questions. So 3, one of your family members, not magical at all, asks you for help with their work. Do they labor with their hands or do something more academic? As you work, what advice do they share? Ooh. I would say a gardener, based on all of the vibes. Like, yes, I live with my mentor, and I've been studying with them, and Grotwin's been a major part of my life, but just because of that doesn't mean that I don't see my family as well. And remember that this game is adaptable, and so if you choose to have found family rather than like blood family, that's absolutely fine. So I would say, yeah, they're a gardener. So encounters. This is the downside of not having the like actual physical book with me, because I don't look to the next page until I get to it. So I missed that part. So 3, they're a gardener, and they labor with their hands, obviously. So while we're gardening, and I'm not going to write the full question and everything. I'm just gonna write my answers for this one. The advice that they give. So I'm gonna say that this is my dad. And he... His advice is to not take everything to heart. There are lessons to be learned along the journey. But everyone's living their own lives. And so what I might think of as a lesson or something that I need to do better might be something that they need to do better themselves and has absolutely nothing to do with me. Okay, and then the 5 was you run into the coolest teen in this sleepy village can muster. How do they try to belittle you? Oh, well, this is my bully from before. Do you rise to their bait, or are you content to let them rule this hill you'll soon leave behind? I like the examples. They have farmer's son, fancy coat, spiky rebel, owns a boat. I like the rhyme there. Are they rhyming everything? Oh, they are! I just noticed that. A historian, a carpenter, a priest, a gardener. A long walk, a quiet drink, a favorite film, midnight hijinks. Like pseudo-rhyming. I just noticed that. Hello. I'm gonna say that they're a spiky rebel who also owns a boat. And I'm going to call, I'm sure that this is from Tamara Pierce's books, but I'm going to call it them Gavin. Too cool for, once again flipping my letters. Too cool for school. And their boats. Can't go anywhere because it's in a lake. I would say that Ramar is going to ignore them, but internalizes the bars a little bit, the barbs. Okay, there we go. Okay, I did the correct thing now. Oh, and there's a quote at the bottom here. I don't care if it's a sad goodbye or a goodbye, or sad goodbye or a bad goodbye, but when I leave a place, I like to know I'm leaving it. If you don't, you feel even worse. J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye. Okay, taking flight. Whether you wish to or not, you can delay no longer. It's time to leave. Choose a goodbye from the following section and create a new journal entry. Good thing I'm at the bottom of the page. Let's see, using the answers to the prompt. Then flip the page to journey. So I'm gonna scroll through and check. Oh, that's cute. They have a fun little image of handwritten journal entries. Let's see, journey, Koriko. Okay. So I am going to, get back to take flight. Okay, so choose a goodbye. There are 4 of them. There's a crowd, a feast, a pair, and alone. Based on everything that I've written about Ramara so far, I feel like it would just be a pair. Ramara and her mentor. So it says, two figures stand close, silhouetted by the moon. You and your mentor make your final preparations. How is this place significant to you both? What charm do they carefully weave to keep you safe? When you meet their gaze for a moment before parting, what do you see within? I feel like this is a forest glade, and because I've noticed the rhyming, I'm going to read them all for you. Mountain peak, forest glade, sunken grotto, broken blade. So I'm going to go with the forest glade. So I will read this aloud in 1 second. God. I have to keep reminding myself the names. Okay. In the forest glade where we first met, I take my leave of Grotwin. No tears are spent, but there's a clenching in my heart as they weave heather into my hair for the journey onward. Let's see, anything else? When you meet their gaze for a moment before parting, what do you see within? So, there's a proud look in their eye as I head off, Dahlia at my side. Okay. Well, Dahlia at my side, Dahlia curled up in my lap as I fly, in either case. And while I know that it says to stop at the end of each volume, each section, I think that that's a good place to stop for today. I unfortunately have other things to do, but I will be continuing this next time, and I hope that you will follow me along as I venture forth into the journey. So you all have a lovely, lovely day, and see you next time. Bye.